Best Washington Rare Stamps to Collect Part 2. The 4-piece set of the 1932 10-cent stamp was issued on the occasion of the bicentenary. Since the birth of George Washington, born in 1732, he served as the first President of the United States of America. Above his torso, the writing United States of America. Down, the date 1732, year of birth. And on the right, the date 1932, year of issue of this stamp, and the 200th anniversary. A curiosity about Washington is that he had several false teeth. Contrary to legend, his prostheses were not made of wood, but composed of a combination of carved animal bone and human teeth, bought directly from his workers enslaved. Further down the sides of this stamp, you will be able to see the face value. 10 cents of the American dollar. Orange-colored piece. Today this quatrain is intact and dated 1932. It's worth $126. The 3-cent Flying Eagle stamp of 1870. Depicted in the center, the bust of Washington. The particularity of this piece: it is in the stamp placed above the face. A stamp which depicts the image of the flying eagle, symbol of the United States of America. A printing error, which increased the value of this piece dramatically. Above the bust, the writing is shown. U.S. postage. Down, the 3-cent face value of the U.S. dollar. One of these specimens kept in perfect condition. Of color to see. Original dated 1870. It's worth $225. The 12-cent stamps of 1867 depict the bust of George Washington. The particularity of these two pieces: it's in the press, made differently than other standard pieces of the time. In fact, they were printed in different grids. That in fact, they made the print quality inferior compared to other stamps. Many U.S. postage stamps, they were subjected to a printing process to prevent removal and cancellation of the reuse of postage stamps. In fact, the printing method called was used. Grill. Where a car, it produced a grid in relief on the stamp. The grid broke the paper fibers, allowing the ink to fully penetrate the paper, preventing counterfeiting. Up, the nominal value of the piece is reported 12 cents of the U.S. dollar. If you own one of these stamps that seem to you to have poor image quality, they could be originals from 1867 and have a market value of $350. The 24-cent stamp of 1868. It is part of another series issued with the grid printing method. Grids are classified based on the size of the design, but to give you an idea, you may already be able to identify them. By sliding your fingertip over the surface, you may feel a type of paper with noticeable ridges and bumps, as if a roller had passed over it. On the center, you will be able to see George Washington's face, with above it a bluish spot, an error that increases its value. Up, the nominal value of he piece, 24 cents of the U.S. dollar. Down, the value is reported in letters. Postage stamp issued on November 28, 1868. Was issued in 200,000 copies. It is lilac gray in color, and today it is worth $750. The envelope with the 10-cent stamps from 1859. Thousands of them can be found in circulation, assuming they have not been destroyed over time. It was common practice to use 2 green Washington stamps from 10 cents of the American dollar and a piece, 1 cent depicting the face of Benjamin Franklin, to be able to send your letters. In the UK, the peculiarity of this letter is that several thousand envelopes, they were stamped with the stamp paid. A very interesting peculiarity that increased the value of these letters. Washington postage stamps. Above the face, they show the nominal value of the piece, reported in Roman numeral 10. Down, the value written in letters. 10 cents of the American dollar. Today one of these letters, it can be worth $900. The 2-cent stamp of 1903. It was initially produced in black, depicting the bust of George Washington. The post office agreed that it was among the most beautiful stamps created in their history. For the first time. As well as a face. Banners draped with American flags were also printed, which you will be able to see on the sides of the torso. Up. The writing United States of America. Down. The date 1732. Washington's birth year. To the right. 1799. Year of his death. Above dates. The nominal value of the piece expressed as a number. 2 cents of the US dollar. The peculiarity of this piece lies both in the representation of the drapes of the American flag. First time they appear on a stamp. Both the color red. Printed perhaps by mistake by the U.S. Postal Service. Initially it was supposed to be black. Postage stamp issued on January 1, 1903. 3,261,000 copies were printed. And today it is worth $1,350. The 10-cent stamp of 1847. It was one of the first pieces issued for sending letters with delivery over 300 miles. On the center, the bust of George Washington is depicted. Hero of the Revolutionary War, who led the Continental Army to a glorious victory for gaining independence from the British Empire. Up. The writing is shown. Post Office. Down. The nominal value of the piece. Reported both in Roman numeral 10. Then in letters 10 cents of the American dollar. This stamp. He had the particularity of always being available in post offices. Especially in big cities. Like New York City. Many of these pieces though. They represent small defects. Which in fact increase the value of this stamp. Defects appear on the mouth. Which appears straighter and more linear than usual. The eyes. They appear sleepy. And the engraver's initials at the bottom. They are weaker and more nuanced. Particularities that make this piece worth its weight. $3,300.